Hopefully you do.
Yep, let's go.
Yay! We're hitting.
We welcome them back because we took a summer break.
Yes.
You're the first.
I know, it's been a minute. It looks like we are live. Yay! I'll give it a couple seconds for people to get the notification. Hopefully hop on and join, and we'll start soon. Yeah, yay, we can see me. Woohoo! Awesome. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I know it's been a minute since we've had these Keune Facebook Lives. We took a little summer break, so hopefully summer has been treating all of you well. And thanks for joining us again today for Glow Up. My name is Jess Bartolucci. I'm a Keune Academy Trainer, and I'm coming to you live from my kitchen in Buffalo, New York. And I am very, very excited to be chatting all things about our Glow service within Keune and our Semi line. Hi, Brooke. If you're here, say hello in the comments, pop a little like, give a wave, let us know where you're from. We always love to see where you guys join us from. And as always, on the phone today, I have Jessica Mills. So as we go along, if you have any comments, questions, if you're just like, yeah, I love that too, or maybe you want to share something with all of us, please feel free to pop that on in the comments, and Jessica is gonna help me just kind of filter through those, navigate through those, and we'll get all your questions and comments answered. So without further ado, let's get into the Glow service of Keune. This has easily become one of my favorite services to offer behind the chair, and hopefully yours as well. And if you haven't had your hands into the Glow service yet, hopefully after today's live, it will be. So first and foremost, kind of what's the Glow service? What is it all about, right? So it is really about enhancing that extra glow and vibrance of the tone into your guest's hair. How many times has your client sat in the chair and said, hey, I love maybe my level, I love my hair, I don't want to change it too much, but maybe I just wish it was a little bit more vibrant. This is that look for them because it's going to deliver tonality into the hair more so than the level. It's also going to provide a whole bunch of other features and benefits for our guests because it is in our semi line. So for me, I love to kind of start out with that, about what makes the Glow service so great within it. And within the Semi line, the technology that is made up of that is a nourishing, a shine, and a soothing complex. So your guest is not only going to walk away with a glowed up color on their hair is going to be more nourished, shinier, and they're also going to have a very soothing experience from this line as well. How are we doing out there? Any questions or anything yet, Jess? Great, perfect. Pretty easy so far, right? So I'd love to chat about our Nourishing Complex. We're just going to take a little surface skim on these for today. The Nourishing Complex and what that's going to provide for your guest and their hair is made up of cocamide and a sea silk. Now the cocamide is derived from coconut, and it's going to help to give moisture and hydration to your guest's hair. So automatically after washing out that hair color, you're just going to notice the nourishing factors that their hair has walked away with, as well as the sea silk. So the sea silk is going to provide us some hydration, some repair, as well as put amino acids back into your guest's strands. With instrumental testing, it is found that it's going to have up to 55% more smoothness than their untreated hair. So already that perfect benefit. Who doesn't want to walk away with a smoother hair after their color service, right? Moving onward from there, we are talking about our Shine Complex. So our Shine Complex is made up of the sea buckthorn and myrcel. So inside of the sea buckthorn, you'll find that there's vitamin C, more amino acids, and flavonoids. You're like, okay, that's great. What does that mean? That just means that our hair's porosity, its strength, and it also helps with hair growth for our guest. As well as the myrcel is going to help, again, to boost more shine and provide more moisture into her hair. Doesn't that all sound so lovely? Again, walking away with up to 67% more shine. So we have 55% more smoothness, 67% more shine than when our guest sat in the chair. All benefits that I don't know if anybody will say no to those, right? How about you guys? Moving on to the next complex that is made up into our Semi line is the Soothing Complex. The Soothing Complex has Boswellia serrata gum as well as, I always laugh, and one day I'll get this one down, but Bisabolo. Did I do it right? If you guys have seen me on a live before, you can laugh along with me. I always insert this into a little Google narrator. I'm like, how do you say that word again? They're perfect, though, to help to reduce inflammation, provide more smoothing, and again, if our guest is a little bit more sensitive on their scalp, that's going to help to, desensitize onto that scalp so our guest can have a beautiful, again, soothing experience after we formulated for their hair. What's fun about these is if you are more of an ingredient-based hairstylist, I definitely would suggest and urge you to type some of these into your little Google Finder. I love doing that for myself and just say, hey, what are the benefits of maybe, Boswellia serrata gum in hair, just to give a little bit more backbone, a little bit more information for yourself. But with these complexes, I know your guest is going to walk away with happy, healthy, shiny hair, and I know that they're going to be asking for this glow up service as well the next time that they see you. So how are we doing out there so far? Any questions? We excited about the complexes that are inside of our semi? Doing good? Cool, doing great. So moving forward from there, now that we know what is made up of and inside of all of the semi line, so that is all inside the semi line. Why the glow service? Why am I going to choose to do a glow service on my guests, maybe instead of I'll say more of a traditional formulation of a 2-to-1. So 2 parts activator, 1 part of our color, and that's going to provide for our toning and our glazing, no heat, 20 minutes on our guests. Sometimes, as we were kind of stating in the beginning, don't we agree that our guest just wants to see the tonality to their hair? So maybe they don't want to shift out that level, right? So a glow service is great for all hair types, and it's meant for everybody. Again, adding just that character and minimal level to that hair. It's going to help to refresh the tone, as well as sometimes, our guests can come in. We have actually next week coming up is our fall trends with Cheetah, I believe. And maybe they're going to want to try something new for fall, but maybe they're not sure if they're going to want to commit to it. So the glow service is a perfect way to ease them into a shift for their hair, especially with the seasons, and, seeing if they actually want to commit to that later on. So as we navigate through the swatch book inside of our Keune swatch book here, when you open this up, you'll find a lot of the times our guests will say, I want to be warmer, maybe I want to be cooler, maybe they want a nice mix of both. So right up here in the swatch book, you can find all of our beautiful cool tones. Right next to it is going to be those neutral tones, falling right into those warm tonalities. Now, how we can find what is in semi is right down here on the bottom. We have our little key and our nice legend. So you'll see anything with that semi circle. When you find that up here, you'll see that we provide that in semi, and that is those colors and choices and shades that you can choose for that glow service. So again, we have our warm, our cool, our neutral, and you can even dive into more of the intense tones, especially I think always for fall, more of those like copper and red tones coming forward too that your guests might want to play around with a little bit as well. So diving further into that, if you are a little bit newer to our Keune world, not only do we chat about it in more of a warm, neutral, and intense tone, these are the tonalities that we can provide. And on all of the boxes of colors, you'll see that there's a beautiful band and a strip that goes right down there, and it correlates right to the color character. So we have our 0.1, which is a blue-based ash. Our 0.2 is a pearl, so that's really, really gorgeous, providing a little bit more of, well, that pearlescent, I always say it's the inside of a seashell, sort of coloring to the hair. 0.3 for those gold tonalities, 0.4 for copper, 0.5 with mahogany, which I have a few swatches to share with you on that tone today. Our 0.6 for red, 0.7 is violet, 0.8 is our brown, and our 0.9 is our green or anti-red, because sometimes, especially with our guests who want to stay maybe a little bit on that cooler side or our blondes, this is a great service to have them come into and also neutralize out any of that unwanted warmth that could happen in between color services. So just check in again. We doing good? Any questions so far? Awesome. Don't forget, if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in, and I'll be happy to answer as we go through. So now we're going to get into the glow treatment itself. So we've talked about how we're just going to pop in that tonality to there, and I have a few swatches that I would love to share with you guys. So really now you can put a visual to what we've been chatting about. So you'll see here I have Emma. Emma came in for her highlighting balayage service, and we highlighted her with our cream blonde lightener with 30 volume. And you can see that here on the, well, my left, your right, I believe. It's been a while since I've been on here. So you'll see that beautiful tonality that came up in that cream blonde. We just did a really beautiful money piece on her and some really soft baby highlights in there. What I decided with Emma is that, and what we decided in her consultation, is that she wanted to be a cool tone to her hair, but she still wanted to maintain that brightness, right? Have you guys ever encountered that, especially in those cool tones, that you don't want any of that necessarily depth, you just want to see those main characters pop forward? That's what we decided to do with Emma. Now here I have a swatch of our 9.71, which is our very light violet ash blonde. So you'll see that it has a gorgeous level 9 tonality to it with those really gorgeous ash tones to her. Now I'm going to bring Emma forward a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see in the light here that in the front portion on Emma, we mixed equal parts of our 9.71 with our balsam and the semi activator, and that is what's going to provide your glow service. Now the intensity of that service is going to be provided on how long you leave that on for. So you can leave it on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes. So 5 minutes is going to provide a soft glow, 10 minutes is going to provide a medium, and 20 minutes is going to provide a more intense glow. Now, let me know if you guys can see this okay. If not, I'll try to shift around for better lighting. But here's our 9.71 placed onto that hair in I say like a traditional mixture. So this is 2 parts of our semi-activator to 1 part of that 9.71. Beautiful color, and if you can see as I place that over onto her hair, do you guys see how that level really starts to intensify, right? Versus what we have underneath here, which is that mixture, 1 to 1 to 1, 1 part color, 1 part balsam, and 1 part activator. So in her front panel here, let me see if I can find her ear. There we go. So in her front panel here, we left this on for 20 minutes, and you'll see that's really soft, so that really gorgeous tonality of that ash base to her hair, and you can still, you know, it's that level 9, but you can still see just a little bit more of that movement and not so much the level, again, just the tone. Following next to it in the next panel, we left this panel on for 10 minutes, and in the back all the way here, this is really great too because I feel like you can start to see that before and after. We left this on for, where'd we go? This on for 5 minutes, and this side is the raw natural color before any of the glow service. So that 5 minutes really provides a soft, subtle shift. So you can see that in the back where we have that 5-minute application to what was on there really, you know, just from that lightener that we had. The mixture is really soft, I feel too, depending on that 5, 10, and 20, but just depending on that depth you want. If your guest, I find if your guest wants it to last a little bit longer, you know, 20 minutes is going to be key, but sometimes if you want more of that quick tonality, I love to use the 5 or 10 minute application when my guests come in, maybe say they come in every 12 weeks. And they upkeep their hair at home with professional products. In this case, we'll say that she has her Silver Savior shampoo conditioner and my new favorite, the Silver Savior mousse, to keep her hair in those cool tones. However, would you guys agree that, you know, sometimes wear and tear, it's summer out, that tonality, maybe they wash their hair every day, so that color is kind of like leaving their hair a little bit faster. They can come in for that 10 or 5-minute color service between as well, just to get a little bit more of that longevity out. So it's another way that I love to position the glow service as well, not only to do behind the chair after even a highlighting application, is to maybe position them so they can come in about 6 weeks. Really beneficial. I mean, kind of all the time. I'm finding it's really beneficial, especially in these summertime, months. And I think again, when the kind of any holiday approaches, and maybe they're due after, just to kind of get a little bit of a refresh in. Is there a question, Jess, or no? Doing good? There is?
Yeah, question.
Yeah.
Is the glow service just for blondes?
No, that is a great question. The glow service is not just for blondes. The glow service is for everyone. I have a couple more swatches that I can share with you guys as well, just on that. So thank you, whoever who asked that question. I do have right here our 5.81, which is our light barista brown. So here is our 5.81. Again, I'm going to call it more of a traditional mixing, right? So that 2-to-1 ratio, what you would typically go for, 2 parts of your activator, again, to 1 part of your color for your glossing or your glazing or your toning, however you like to position that. So I'll just pop this up against Emma because I feel like it's pretty good, kind of backdrop here, if you guys can see that okay. So here is our 5.81 in that traditional mixture, if you will. From there, we did 20 minutes, 10 minutes, and 5 minutes again, and I'll pop those next to that. So this first swatch on my left, your right, is going to be I'll find some better lighting for you guys. Let's see here. There we go. So that first one is going to be that 20 minutes. So you'll see what's happening here is that level is becoming a bit more minimal, and just that tonality is popping out a little bit more in there for you. From there, we're going to go into the 10-minute, and you'll see that it gets a little bit like softer, if you will. It still has a vibrancy to it, but you can just see, again, a little bit softer shift into this third swatch over here, following into that 5 minutes. So that 5 minutes, we can see that that level is really minimal compared to our start, right? And you're just left over with those color characters of the tone of that 8-1, which that 8 is our brown and our 1 is our ash. So this is a really great one too, if you can I always kind of say think outside the box in the realm of maybe an all over like global toner or glaze. Could we absolutely take this and we apply this on, towel dried damp hair? Could we take this and maybe run through as a couple of like low lights or a soft kind of like reverse balayage for a guest if they want something different? Absolutely. So this is not only meant just for blondes, but for everybody into the range. This is also our 9.5. Which is one of my personal favorites. Played around a little bit with it this upcoming week. Jess is raising her hand too. If you guys ever use a 9.5, leave it in the comments. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. Again, we're going to go from more of that traditional mix to now into our glow service for 20, the glow service for 10, and the glow service for 5. So if you have a guest who maybe wants that rosy, maybe for a little weekend refresh, I'd go for that 5 minute. Depending on the porosity of the hair is how long that glow service is going to last. Typically, semi applications last up to 24 washes. We know, porosity of the hair, how they care for their hair at home comes into big play. But just keep that in mind. The longer you keep it on, the longer it's going to last in the hair. But these tones are beautiful as well. So thank you for whoever who asked that question, because we got to share those with that. Yeah, love that, love that. Thank you very much. Awesome. So how else are we doing out there? Any other questions so far? Are we doing pretty good?
You're good, Donnie.
Good, 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 good. Hopefully that means I'm just answering all the questions you guys might have about the glow service, right? That's how I'll take it. So what I'd love to do now is just to do a quick little application for you guys, just to kind of share what that looks like. And I found too that when I bring my client back to the bowl, like sometimes I'll do this application in the chair, sometimes I'll do the application at the back sink. Just kind of, I guess for me it depends on like the hair length. Like someone like me, I just like to apply it in the bowl. It's a little bit easier. But what I love to do is you're always going to want to make sure that your guest has clean, damp, towel dried hair. So you're going to want to start off with clarifying, and that we're going to be clarifying that with our Clarify shampoo, which is our professional use clarifying shampoo at the back bar. I'm going to mix up your formula, and again, we'll apply that to our beautiful towel dried hair. Today, we're going to be utilizing our 9.35. So our 9.35 is our light choco blonde, so that 3 is our gold, that 5 is our mahogany, and I'm just going to measure that out real quickly for you guys. So for here, we're going to start with, we'll go about 30 grams of our color, and then we'll add in 30 grams of our activator, to 30 grams of the balsam. Perfect. When it comes to mixing up, especially for the glow service, I love to utilize them in the pumps. It just makes kind of the balsam and the activator to come out a little bit easier for me. You can go on and pour them in, whatever makes your heart happy. And you'll see in there we have that perfect mixture of the activator, the balsam, and the color right in there. So we'll just make sure we give that a really beautiful mixture on up.
While you're mixing,
Yeah.
Would you clarify even if it's a freshly colored and washed, or just if it's a refresh appointment?
That's a great question. So would I clarify if it was freshly colored and washed, or would I clarify if it was just like its own separate appointment? So if I had done something like we're doing, you know, even with our girl here, so she was just in highlights, we took those out, we shampooed out twice since it was a highlight with our after color shampoo, then I wouldn't necessarily go in and do a clarify because I've already kind of taken down that pH. I know that it's nice and clean. What I would do, however, is go in with, and I always love doing this even in a regular application, is to go in with my Vital Nutrition. Now I do this on blondes and I do this on brunettes too, just to even out any of that porosity. Now if my guest came in, like we'll talk about how we were saying, if our guest came in at that 6-week mark, 8-week mark, or just like for a refresh service, I would 100% go in with the Clarify just to get their hair products out of their hair. You just want to make sure that hair strand and cuticle is open to accept the hair color. So hopefully let me know if that answered your question. So again, we'll just kind of go in with that Vital Nutrition to her hair. Give it a little bit of a redamp because it is hot here in Buffalo today. We're having a heat wave. So her hair dried a little quicker than I thought it was going to. And just comb that on in so you get that nice even application. So if we're going to go into her hair, can we absolutely take this formula and put this, roots to ends, front to back, and leave it at that? Absolutely. What I find that I'm really loving is kind of doing like a zoning of a glow service to the hair. So what I'll do is just in a really big zigzag application, take out sort of from that ear all the way to the back, so that'll be maybe one of my sections. And what's nice is you could do this in so many different ways. So again, sort of thinking like outside of that box, right? Could we take that glow service and apply that maybe from roots to mids and leave this on for 20 minutes to get our most depth of that tonality? And then as this is processing, right? So we could go in 10-minute process time, and then maybe for those middles going after another 10. So when it's finished, it says 20 minutes of process to 10 minutes of process. Or even on those very tips and ends, go through that last 5 minutes of those 20 minutes. Absolutely. And then you get this really beautiful soft blend of color. So here we'll just sort of give a quick application on those roots to ends. Question, Jess? Oop. I lost Jess, so hold on one second. If there was a question, we'll definitely get to it. So again, we'll just apply this. Today I'm utilizing a bowl and brush method. There we go. Jess is coming back. So hold on one second. There we go. So today we're utilizing, hello, she's back. It's okay. It's alive. Like, this is the beauty of lives, right? Yeah. So today I'm utilizing a bowl and brush method. However, if I can share, Jess, we are introducing our own Keune applicator bottle, so we'll have that as well for you guys. So stay tuned. Stay tuned onto our social media, onto your distributor, and we'll have that beautiful application. So you can do the bottle application soon. A quick little tip on that when you guys do receive it is pop in your activator first. If you're going to be doing activator and balsam for the glow service, put that in first because it just gives a nicer shake, equal distribution of that color for you. Yes, Jess?
I'm sorry.
You're fine. I think there was a question and then we hung up on each other. It's cool.
Yes. Why did you use Vital Nutrition spray before your application?
Great question. Thank you. So why did I use Vital Nutrition spray before my application? That Vital Nutrition spray in the care line of Keune is going to help to even out any porosity in the hair. So especially after a highlighting service, I just want to make sure that I have an even canvas to work on. And that being so important, not even just for blondes, but for brunettes or redheads, everyone and anyone, is because if our ends are a little bit more porous, that's going to grab that color differently. So I'm just creating a really clean roadmap for that color to grab evenly throughout instead of kind of dipping in or maybe not being able to be filled completely by a strand that needs a little bit more porosity. Hopefully that answers the question for you. Cool. So here we go, that beautiful, you can see it's super nice and easy. I'm kind of doing this at a slower speed than I would in the salon. But really nice. I wish that you guys could kind of feel this texture. If any of you guys have done a glow service behind the chair, please feel free to leave some comments behind the chair in the comment section on what you love or maybe even what your guests love about it. I know I love to kind of share with my guests what I'm doing on their hair, and I know the next time they come in, they're like, can I have that glow service, that glow up, that shine? What did you do last time? And it really is something that they love the minute that they see it, and that feels good. I can't tell you how many of my clients, when I do this on their hair, they're already like, wow, it just feels so conditioning and so very soft throughout that hair as well. So we just did that back section there, again with that 9.35, which is their golden mahogany, a beautiful choco blonde. Now behind the chair, sometimes what I love to do is to play within those gradients. So what I would do is leave this on for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes of this processing, I'll kind of go through and maybe do this middle section, because what that's going to do, as we sort of saw within those swatches, and I'll bring those up again in case anyone just popped on and didn't see it previously, what you'll see, we'll just use the 9.5 because I feel like she's showing up pretty well onto the camera here. So that would be that 5-minute or 20-minute full application to that 10 minutes. You'll just see you get a really soft gradient, really nice for color melts. And typically I feel like a lot of the trends are falling a little bit brighter, lighter towards the face and coming back. So now within that one tube of color, you've played with all of those characteristics and the tonality it has in it, just to kind of expand that palette a little bit more, especially if we just did this beautiful, beautiful money piece up front. So I think the last thing I want to do is to, leave that on, deepen, darken that up. So I just want to, again, pop in that tonality, the color character, and have that be really soft and beautiful against maybe that back end result. What do you guys think? Pretty cool? Awesome. So do we have any other questions or comments? Nothing out there. Sounds good. Beautiful. That's all right. Good. I'm glad. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the application, the process. What I am going to do, is just going to allow this to process for that full 20. Since we did use that 9.35, what I want to do is showcase this for you guys. So in another 10 minutes, what I'm going to do is put this on and then put this on for the 5. So after the end of the live, you guys can really get that visual. We can tag it onto the comments so you can really see, kind of the direction that goes in. And hopefully you guys will enjoy that. So as we go through, After we've completely finished our application onto our client, we're always going to want to make sure that we finish off with our after color program. Oh, well, I skipped ahead. So again, I know we chatted about this before, but so we'll have our 5 minutes. It's going to give that soft, 10 minutes for the medium, and 20 for our intense. So if you'd like to take a little snapshot of that, just to remind yourselves, that is the application time for each of those. And then whenever we rinse off our application, we're going to make sure that we finish off with the proper aftercare. So when it comes to the semi application, you can do an optional after color shampoo. Now, why we say an optional after color shampoo is if you have somebody with a lot of hair, a lot of dense hair right into that scalp area, you'll know that maybe you want to cleanse that off a little bit more. Sometimes if we're just doing it on the ends and you feel like that's come out perfectly and you don't need to rinse it, that's totally okay. You don't need to do that after the semi application. Again, if we're talking tinta or we're talking a highlighting service, we're either going to do 1 or 2 after color shampoos, but when we're talking about the glow service, that shampoo is optional. And once your hands are in there, you'll kind of get, okay, yes, I'll shampoo this one out. Maybe this one I don't have to. But definitely, we're going to be doing the after color balsam. So just what we put into that formula and into that formulation, you will be taking that after color balsam and leaving that on for 1 to 3 minutes. Now, the importance of leaving it on for 1 to 3 minutes is the longevity of that color application. The after color shampoo and after color balsam, again, is going to bring down that pH. It's going to have that pH of 4. It's going to include a little bit of LP300s, Salamere, and silk protein. So the Salamere is going to be our UVA and UVB protectant to the hair, give more shine, it helps to stop oxidization. So all of the goodness that we've been putting in with the Nourishing Complex, the Shine Complex that we talked about, we're just enhancing that service and making sure our color stays the best that it can, as well as talking to our guests about proper home care. You know, if we do have a guest who has more of those ash tones, we're going to be talking more of the Silver Savior to them. If we're talking to our guests maybe about more of these brunette tones, copper tones, or even these beautiful rose tones, we can hop on over into our Keune U in our care line and formulate with those colors as well. We have a beautiful cool brown that can help to enhance and keep their hair, lasting longer as well throughout their hair services. So having that proper home care for our guests, making sure they're happy with that, and having that come back to them. Yeah. So do we have any other questions, comments, concerns going on in the comment section? Hopefully we have answered any questions that you have had, and if you haven't, please absolutely type that on in. How's it going out there, Jess? Pretty good?
We're good.
Awesome, that's perfect. Well, I know the glow service, she is a short and sweet sort of application there. Again, I encourage you to have fun with those formulations and just keep in mind at the end of the day when it comes to it, what the tone is that you want to see, what character you want to see in that hair. When you are formulating, make sure that you are still formulating sort of like on that level to the hair as well, right? So if you're like wanting to see a brunette, that maybe we're not putting like the 0.7 on there because we might not see that tonality on, but we do have like that 8.1, which is that beautiful, beautiful cooler brown shade and color. Just keep that in mind as you're formulating, as you would in, as I say, that traditional 2-to-1 glaze, and you're going to be coming out with something that I know that you and your guests are going to be very, very happy with. So, with that being said, if there are no more questions or comments on there, I just want to thank you guys for joining us today, for coming back on this beautiful, it is Monday in August. I hope you guys had a gorgeous July and some time for the summer for yourselves. And stay tuned because we are kicking it off again next Monday. You will see Cheetah with fall trends coming up. And then from there, just keep on your reminder and you'll see coming up all of the different classes that we have. If there's anything that you'd love to see, absolutely leave that in the comments as well, because we want to provide to you the education that you want to see. And we are listening. So I just want to say thank you guys very much for your time, your questions, and don't forget to hop on over to KeuneEducation.com. In the digital tab, we have so much more education on there for you as well. And keep up with @Keune North America for anything new that is coming in. From there, that is what I have for you guys today. Again, thank you very, very much, and I hope to see you at a next live. Have a great day, everyone.